While the Workers' Party says Singapore's land pricing model raises costs and holds back innovation and entrepreneurship, the PAP argues that businesses already receive extensive support to manage these. WP suggested new price models, while PAP says the bigger challenge for entrepreneurship lies in building leadership and capabilities. Aslam Shah with more.
Workers' Party MP Kenneth Tiong suggests that universal market land pricing is an assumption Singapore should test. He proposed a zone around NTU where housing and enterprise land would be charged on a cost recovery basis rather than at market scarcity value.
It is a controlled experiment in whether Singapore's land pricing regime is suppressing agglomeration, entrepreneurship, and indigenous capital formation. If there is a Singaporean secret sauce that adheres beyond the cost pressures of land and wages, then the zone here, alongside the one in Johor, will tell us.
Nominated Member of Parliament Mark Lee shifted the focus from the cost of starting a business to what companies do with the help they receive. He acknowledged the pressures firms face, but argued that support must ultimately lead to stronger and more competitive businesses.
But relief without transformation merely postpone the problem. The government must build the runway for our economy through sound regulation, infrastructure, education, fair regulation, and a strong social safety net. But firms, entrepreneurs, and workers are the planes that must still take off. From a business perspective, this means three imperatives: enable enterprises, expand opportunity, and embed responsibility.
WP's Louis Chua said it is more than just cost for businesses. He framed land as an upstream structural issue rather than a financial bearing for businesses. Beyond the proposed NTU zone, he said the same principle should shape how strategic and community-facing land is allocated.
Maximizing revenues from land and buildings should no longer be a primary consideration of land policy. As I've argued in this House before, we should bring back two-envelope concept and price tenders as the defaults for strategic and community-facing sites, so that land is awarded on the quality and value of what is built, and not simply to whoever bids the most.
Closing the debate, Minister Tan See Leng drew on his own entrepreneurial journey, recounting how early contracts from MNCs helped his startup company establish credibility and grow.
The trust of these MNCs gave us that foothold. It enabled us to build a track record. We had to constantly measure up. We had to meet their demanding standards. But once we showed that we could deliver, it became easier to win the confidence of the next customer. So therefore, I've never regarded global enterprises and local enterprises as opposites.
Dr. Tan also drew a distinction between the government support for businesses and the roles entrepreneurs themselves play in building successful companies.
Finance alone does not build great companies. Public capital should crowd in commercial capital and expertise, not replace them. The risks must still be properly understood and borne. Governments cannot and do not create champions just by simply writing larger checks. Firms also need experienced leadership, specialized talent, sound governance, and the ability to manage a much larger business.